bro, next thing you know, I look down and they're just swollen. I'm like, what the hell is going on? They're twisted. I didn't know they were twisted at the time. They just looked swollen like golf balls for real, and they were hard.
Welcome to the Playbook with MK, where I compare playbooks with real life winners who have some of the most interesting stories around. Today, we have a real life winner whose story is surely inspiring, but even more interesting. We got Brevin Galloway. What's up, brother? How you doing?
What's good, man? I'm happy to be here.
For those of the people that don't know, can you give a quick breakdown of who you are, your story, anything you want to share?
So my name is Brevin Galloway, obviously, from a small town, Anderson, South Carolina. Played college basketball at College Charleston, Boston College, and Clemson. Suffered through a lot of traumatic injuries throughout my career, just pretty much just overcoming adversity. Obviously, right now, preparing for my professional career. I love animals, big mental health advocate. And yeah, obviously, we'll dive deeper into it as time goes on, but that's pretty much the sum.
How does it feel going to Clemson, being a football school, and you're going to play basketball? Do they get the gear first? Do they get weight room privileges first? How is that?
I mean, obviously, it is what it is. I mean, I really don't care about the football program, and if I'm being honest, just because obviously I'm a basketball player. But with that being said, obviously Clemson definitely is a football school by far. Obviously, whenever you hear Clemson, that's the first thing you think of is football. But we tried to bring some light to the basketball team this year. We made some good noise, but no, it's definitely still a football school by far.
I had a look at everything of yours. Obviously, I had to do my research going in. There's 3 trends I noticed when researching your name. Number 1, you play at Clemson. You've played all over the place, actually. It's a pretty big deal. You're obviously nice with it, and we're going to talk about the basketball end. It's noted. Mm-hmm. Number 2, you're the king of NIL deals. Somehow your agent secured some of the most primitive brand sponsorships for a college athlete. Like, I know a lot of guys that get deals, but you're in the same talks as somebody like upcoming, like Mikey Williams. Like, honestly, like, right. Like dead ass. And then 3, you had to know this one was coming. And everyone watching is going to be like, what the fuck? But your nuts just fucking exploded one day. Everyone watching, you heard that right. His nuts exploded randomly one day. And we're going to go from bottom to top because everyone's going to want to know what the fuck I'm talking about. What happened? Are you cool if we talk about this?
Yeah, okay, no, definitely. I mean, it already went viral.
Was this from basketball?
No, it wasn't from basketball. So it was a weird situation. So obviously, crazy. So it was a random Thursday afternoon. Obviously, just a typical Thursday. I went to lift in the morning, came back, took my nap like normal, and woke up from my nap. I actually never could fall asleep. Yeah. So I was tossing and turning, trying to fight my sleep. And then obviously, bro, next thing you know, I look down and they're just swollen. I'm like, what the hell is going on? They're twisted. I didn't know they were twisted at the time. They just looked swollen like golf balls for real, and they were hard.
What?
So I was like, this definitely, I couldn't breathe. I couldn't move.
This shit hurt though, right?
Oh, bro, it was like the worst pain I've been in. Like, I tore my ACL and I tore my meniscus twice, and like, no, man, like I thought my ACL was like, I just remember hearing that snap, and like, I'm like, that's tough. But no, feeling that pain down there in that area was by far the most intense pain I had.
So you've been pretty open and upfront about it, which has been good for you, and it's just like, props to you for that. I don't know how I'd be in that situation. Eventually, you just gotta, like, it just happened. You gotta share it. You know what I mean? I heard you say like golf balls. Is it like tennis ball, golf ball, basketball? I heard 3 different sizes.
Well, obviously, I wanted to make the video funny, so I exaggerated.
Okay. So it's not basketballs.
No, hell no, not basketball. It's not basketball by any means. But it's just, I mean, they were like golf balls in terms of like how hard they were.
That's crazy.
They were tough, but I mean, definitely. I mean, around the size of golf balls, they didn't swell up too much. They were just obviously like, it just looked abnormal. So it was just a little bit like shocking just to look down there and see like, damn, they look swollen, and then you touch them and they're like, damn, they actually kind of hard too.
Yo.
So I mean, it was just really a surprise. I was in shock the majority of the time.
Being upfront and putting it all on social media, like, was that your first instant thought? Like, I'm just gonna put it out?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I mean, if you've been following me since middle school, I've been posting my whole life since then. So this was nothing new for me. And then obviously, I knew like nowadays, obviously with NIL and stuff like that, I knew if I post a funny video, obviously I might be able to capitalize on it. I didn't know we would go viral like that. Because I mean, like, that was crazy. Like Rolling Stone, New York Times, TMZ. Like I said, Chinese companies were hitting me up on radios. Yeah. I did a podcast with a company in New Zealand. So like it was crazy. Like the amount of attention that it got
Is
was
that the
ridiculous.
most attention you've got from your balls exploding than anything else?
Definitely by
Holy
far. Like that put my
smokes.
name on the map crazy because it was like I said, like so many like crazy big companies were like publishing me in articles and stuff like that. So and I was worldwide. I mean, like whenever I got an article from the New Zealand radio station, and I was like,
Yeah.
dang, this is
That's
absolutely insane. The
worldwide.
fact that yeah, that's worldwide. So that was wild just to kind of see how it, like it hit those streams over
Yeah,
there.
I know you got a specific brand deal. We'll talk about that after when we go to the NIL deals. But was there any like messages, like comments, like just crazy, like even negative, positive, celebrities, no celebrities? What was the deal there?
I mean, honestly, it was so much attention. Like, I mean, it was so much attention. I couldn't even like really focus on one little like comment or whatever. Like, I didn't really peep any celebrities commenting.
Yeah,
I think somebody did on Bleacher Report. Like, one of the NBA guys commented and was saying something about it. But in terms of like the comments and stuff, I mean, I don't really be searching and fishing for
yeah.
them like that. I kind of just post what I post.
How
And
long
then
was that
get the reaction.
process? Like you basically you look down, you're fucked up. You go to the hospital or whatever. You start posting immediately. Was that just how it went? Was there anything else that we're missing, or is that like is that the whole process? It just blew up overnight.
Oh no, I mean, so obviously, so whenever I got to the room and I finally woke up and I was able to talk and kind of like be, cognizant of what I was doing, I told my fiance at the time, I was like, "Yo, record me. I'm about to talk, and whatever happens, just post it.
Yeah,
Like, whatever, just post it. We're gonna go with it." So then, obviously, the video turned it out to be way better than I thought. Like, obviously, I thought it was gonna be kind of like, not well, again, up to my standards. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So then I was just like, because obviously I'm medicated and obviously I don't know what's going on. So obviously she posted a video. I go back home. Obviously I was still drugged up and stuff like that. So then I woke up around midnight, and next thing you know, like I checked my Twitter. Crazy. I'm seeing TMZ DMing me, like New York Times was like talking to my agent. I'm just like, what the world, bro? Like this is crazy.
You managed to secure one of the most unreal deals in sports history. After that, talk to me about. We'll go into the NIL deals now. Like literally one of the most legendary sports deals. Like, what brand was it? If you can disclose somewhat of the pricing for that, what happened? I don't know the name of it. I do know it's an underwear company. Super smart on their end. Talk to me about it.
Okay, so yeah, so the underwear company that I signed to deal with was Shyness.
Dynasty.
And I like Shyness a lot because they're similar to me in terms of like being open. Like if you follow them on social media or in their Instagram or Twitter, like they post like vulgar things like about underwear. Because obviously, I mean, their whole thing is protecting balls and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So you kind of got to be open and funny with it. So once they wanted to hit me up, and then they told me like the kind of content I can make, I could be free
Did
with.
they hit
Because
you up
obviously,
before this incident? Okay,
no,
okay.
no. This is afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah, all this is
Okay.
afterwards. So once they hit me up, and then obviously we got to start talking about price, and we started talking about content, and they pretty much told me I had free reign as long as I just included the
That's
underwear.
fire.
So I was like, boy, I said, this is perfect. And like, I got to be me. I got to be wild. I got to make a funny video. My video ended up being like a minute and 40 seconds long or 90 seconds long just because I wanted to have fun with it.
Yeah.
So obviously I got to do that. And obviously we had Sax. Sax was in the talks with us. Shyness. I'm trying to think who else. Damn, it was one more. It was one more company that was in
PSD
there, but I
maybe.
can't remember.
No,
No, we never
okay.
talked to PSD. We never talked to PSD. But those two were the finalists for it. So then, but like I said, Shyness just let me be me, and I was just like, bet I ain't gotta I kind of obviously still kind of have some kind of professionalism towards it. But in terms of just kind of just being goofy and childish, I got to just show my personality through that
One
video.
morning, your nuts explode. The next day, underwear brands are knocking at your door asking to sponsor you. It's a blessing in disguise.
It was crazy because I mean that's what people always say, like blessing in disguise, and it's wild because I really was in so much pain, but I was only in pain for 2-3 hours because once I woke up I was fine, and then the video went viral. Obviously, I hate that I had to miss a couple games because I missed 2 games. That was probably the worst part through the whole thing because that was a critical time in our year where we lost one on the road that probably could have, if I played, hopefully that we could have definitely been in the tournament. But obviously, that's just life. That's how it is. But I mean, at least I was able to get some bread out of it.
Are you allowed to talk about the deal at all? You're not allowed to disclose a ball range or a ballpark range of how much?
I just say they paid enough. They paid enough and more for my surgery.
Oh,
like all that shit was
shit.
taken care of.
There you go. Did anyone like besides the deal? We'll get back to the deals. Were people like look like I remember seeing a video of you that everyone was looking at you funny. Is that an exaggeration, or were people like looking at you like, yo, like this guy's balls are some tennis balls, like in the streets and in the hallways, all that shit?
It wasn't even crazy. So like obviously, obviously every away game ever since that incident, I was getting it. Like NC State game, I got it. Boston College game,
They
I
were
got
talking
it. Like,
crazy in the game.
talking crazy. I mean,
Wow.
and like Chapel Hill. Chapel Hill was probably the nicest place because they wrote it on. They had a whiteboard and they wrote it. They said, "Hey BG, how are your nuts?" And I was just like, gave them a thumbs up.
Was that the worst one? What's the worst trash talking moment you can tell us about with that incident?
Worst trash talking moment. I mean, I really wouldn't be trash talking. It was weird. I was at a 7-Eleven in Clemson, and this random dude comes up behind me and was just like, what did he say? He said something. He said it was really weird. It was like, I'm gonna twist him or something. I forgot what he said. It was like something weird, like something absolutely like. I was just like, yeah, I don't know if I could be famous after this. Like that was
That's
too
crazy.
But I can only imagine because like obviously I kind of got like in Clemson is a small town, so like everywhere I went, people were mentioning it and stuff like that. So I mean, it was cool for like the first 2 times, but then after that, it kind of got annoying because everybody,
but like
was just
everybody, like
oh,
even on the streets, people were recognizing you. Like it was just
bro. When I tell you, I got so the day it was 2 days after it, I got in an Uber car to go to the
holy
gym. I took an
smokes.
Uber. The Uber looked at me and started laughing as soon as he saw me, and he was just like, "Man, I've been seeing your face all over the news."
Nah, that's
And
crazy.
it was just some old white man that was just driving around in Clemson doing his day job.
I saw in another interview you did, you're at more than 20 brand deals right now. Talk to me about, because you know these are big names. Talk to me about the names that are asking to sponsor you these days.
Yeah, so I worked with Mercedes last year. Worked with Amazon. Amazon was cool because I got to create my own, like, pretty much T-shirt clothing line, which pretty much focused on mental health. And then I made a graphic tee of myself because I love myself so much. And then, and then, so then obviously you pair that, and then I got Insomnia. Most recently, I got Dave and Buster's, and I got a big one coming on the way with Hulu, and I can't wait to drop that one.
Are these
So,
deals like one off as you would get as like a TikTok influencer, Instagram influencer, or are these more like like heavy packed deals?
my one with Monster is I got like my heavy ones are with Insomnia, Monster, Shop Gold. Those are like my lengthy ones, like
Yeah,
long
yeah,
term
yeah.
ones.
But even
And
Mercedes, like
then
no one's getting one hit deals for Mercedes. You know what I mean? Like
oh
that's
yeah. I mean that was unheard of. Yeah, I mean and that was cool because I got to go test drive their new solar powered car, and I got to like test drive all the different models and stuff like that. Meet a whole bunch of people, shake hands. So I was pretty much like for the Mercedes deal, I was like the athlete of the event. So obviously they showcased the car, and then I was just the athlete shaking hands, doing all that type of stuff. So that was fun. So that was fun as well. But yeah, like the TikTok, like Hulu, Dave and Buster's, stuff along those lines. Those are pretty much just one time deals that I'm just getting paid TikToks for. And then, but I mean, luckily for me, my people have been liking my content so much that I've just been keeping getting more and more ads. So like as soon as like Dave and Buster's saw my video, I mean Dave and Buster's saw previous videos, so they like me, and then Hulu saw the Dave and Buster video, and then they like me. So it just depends on that's kind of how it just flows.
they're promo ish, but like they're not. It's like you can most promos you can't watch and be entertained by them. You know what I mean? It's like definitely a promo. So these bigger brands, even though you're sticking to some kind of script, do they let you kind of get free reign and stuff?
Oh, that's big because I tell my agent that off rip. Like if I can't be myself, I don't want no parts of it. Like unless the money is crazy. Like if the money is crazy, I'll be boring and basic and just say, "Here's your product." but other than that, like I want to be able to make sure that I'm making my content creative and fun. And like I love filming content and I love editing and producing videos. So like now that I get to do all that and get paid for it, like it's just been a blessing.
Yeah, a big part of the playbook is, we compare each other's playbooks with some of the best athletes, some of the craziest, most interesting people. And part of the playbook is finances. So I'm curious, like, if you could give us a range to anyone who wants to do this, anyone who is doing it right now, give us a ballpark range of what you're pulling in with some of these deals, if you're allowed to, just to inspire, bring awareness to it. Because I know me personally, I make a lot of money, like 30K plus off of some of these deals, off of sports in general, just like all in all. And most people don't know you can make money from that. They think it's a one-time deal, $1,000, right? I want to know, are you allowed to share a ballpark range of how much this has helped you, not only just as an athlete, but as a businessman?
No, definitely. I mean, the best part about NIL and stuff like that is obviously as an athlete in college, you got to think about it. I was in college for 7 years total, and only 2 years I got to really like earn off of my name, image, and likeness. So with that being said, like on a ballpark, I'm probably making around like 15 to 20K a month off of this stuff. And that's like, and I'm on the low end of it. That's what's wild. There's a lot of athletes out here making way more than that, which I'm trying to work at. Cause obviously because at first I was like 2,000 a month, 3,000 a month. And obviously as time goes on, you start building content, you start being more consistent. Boom. Now you just level up, which is pretty much like just the way of life. Yeah, you're not worried about living off school checks no more the way you typically were as a college athlete, and now you're kind of able to live the life that you want to live, and it's a blessing.
What's your top three favorite brands to work with? Because again, these are big names. We're not talking about weird shit. You know, what's the top three brands?
So I really like the deal. First of all, the people at Amazon are really, really cool because I got to create a whole clothing line with them. So I was in contact with them a good bit, with, talking about mental health, talking about like how I wanted my graphics he designed, and stuff like that. So they were really cool to work with. And I actually did something with them twice, in October and November of last year. So that was dope. And obviously it was cool because I was able to just be me, and obviously I was able to be creative and actually have my own T-shirt, which I feel like is crazy by Amazon to have. Like, I got my own graphic design T-shirt by Amazon, so not many people can say that. Then the next one will probably be Shinesty underwear for sure because of just how that whole incident unfolded and how much attention we got from it. And then, like I said, the people that were there, they were just open and crazy like me in terms of with ideas. Like, they really didn't want me to hold back in terms of in my content or nothing like that. So I was excited for that one. And then I love Insomnia because the milk and cookies is crazy. The milk and cookies, I'm not getting paid by Insomnia, but I get gift cards. I get gift cards from them, and that's all. Whenever we discuss that, I say, "Hey, I'm happy with that. I'm more than happy with that." So late at night, man, I'm set on milk and cookies. I'm good. I know my go-to.
How do these deals happen? Is it strictly through an agent? Is it yourself? Was it kind of like yourself and then an agent?
Well, that's actually a great question because at first, before like when our NIL passed in July 1st, 2021 or whatever, I was DMing agents on my behalf. Like, DMing companies on my behalf. Like, yo, like, I'm interested in working with y'all. Like, if y'all want a partnership, let me know, blah, 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 this and that. Until I realized that, like, I was just lowering my value that way because obviously I'm just pretty much asking for a handout. So Michael Raymond DMs me early September of 2021 and was like, yo, I want to represent you. I look at his Instagram. I'm like, damn, then boom, like next 2 months, I got a Mercedes deal. And I'm like, whoa, like this man know what he doing with it. So then after that, it's kind of just been obviously I didn't know exactly what to expect going into it with NIL and stuff like that. But then he kind of pretty much put me in a position and kind of like mapped it out for me of where like he kind of had an idea of me going, and everything that he said has come to life.
Yeah, and you said you're on route to becoming a professional hooper. Do you think this is going to be a continued thing? Do you think the offers are going to continue to fly in?
Definitely. Because it really depends. We obviously have had that talk. Because if I go overseas, obviously that could definitely keep me from getting deals because I'm obviously not in America, but at the same time, social media is worldwide regardless. So like people can just send the product, and he tells me all the time, like, your content is good enough. Like, you're one of what you do. Like, people are going to love you regardless. So like, I'm not really concerned or worried about keeping these deals throughout my pro career because, like I say, the people that like me, and that's all I really need to know is that like they like my content, they trust me, they know who I am as a person, and so far they've loved everything that I've done for them. I get nothing but good feedback from these companies, so I'm assuming that like we'll be able to move forward. And as time goes on, obviously basketball is going to come to an end, and I want to be able to keep these relationships with companies because obviously I still want, like, I love the people at Mercedes. Like, I was like, bro, I love to put the basketball down and come work with y'all ASAP. So it was just cool to be able to kind of network like that. So that's also another thing I've been looking at too throughout this whole process is just trying to find ways to, obviously I know the basketball is going to end one day, so I got to find a way to try to keep networking and just making stuff happen.
Next Mercedes deal, tell them you don't want any bread, you just need the whip. That's it.
The whip, right? That's all I needed was the whip. That's all I needed was the whip.
Speaking of professional ball, that's the first thing I brought up kind of when I searched you up. We said we were going to get to that. You played in Clemson, you played other places. We'll get to that later. I know you had a few breakout games against like big teams like Duke, NC State. You're obviously a serious hooper. What's it like playing in that conference?
The ACC.
This is no joke. Like, people think you're just a TikToker, a content creator. You can fucking hoop. You're serious with it. So
I know people. I think that's probably the funniest thing about people is because obviously they see me on TikTok and they just think I'm a goofy guy or whatever. But like I can really hoop and do this at a high level. So, but I just let people talk though because if they want to think of me, let people think what they think of me. Like, I'm fine with it. I know who I am, what I bring to the table. But with that being said, yeah, man, like playing in the ACC night in and night out, like against that caliber of competition is insane, bro. Like, you got to think about it. Like, I was going up against Dariq Whitehead, Isaiah Wong, like Terquavion Smith. Like, all those guys are draft picks. I'm guarding them every night. Like,
who's the toughest player? Who's the toughest player you had to guard in your career? Or
in my career? In my career? Oh, Justin Wright Foreman.
Okay.
Justin Wright Foreman out of Hofstra. He averaged I think he led the nation in scoring 2 years in a row, or so he was close to it at least. So I guarded him at Charleston whenever he was at Hofstra. But like, it
What
just in
about the
terms of
ACC?
ACC, Terquavion Smith, just because he's constantly on go. Like, you always got to be worried about him, and he really don't care. And I think that mindset is scary in a basketball player. Because when you don't care about misses, bro, you're probably gonna make a lot because you're gonna shoot a lot.
Yeah.
So with that being said, he was tough to guard. But yeah, I mean, just like I said, playing in the ACC every night is crazy. Like, the lifestyle you live as an ACC player is ridiculous. Like, think about flying on private jets, like food.
Is that what you're doing? Like, is that what Clemson's doing?
What? Man, Clemson does it right.
So I was around with the RJ Barrett and Zion area. I was actually going to the games at Duke and watching, and on their social media, even on the Duke social media, they don't make it a surprise. Like, they're at the steak dinners, the ribeyes, the private jets, like dead ass. Like the Duke plane. Is Clemson in the same boat?
Not in the same boat as Duke. Hell no. Hell no. but we still live a great life though in terms of what they bring to the table. Like, the locker room, the facilities is top notch. Like, the money that they provide for us with NIL is top notch. Like, it's beautiful. Like, that's the other thing. Like, you come to Clemson, you ain't got to worry about NIL deals because they're gonna give you bread. Like, so that's a positive about Clemson. So it's good and it's bad at the same time because I can see how kids get, caught up in that lifestyle of like, this is like high maintenance type. So like they expect that this is going to be their way of living the way they're like the rest of their life. Because I've had like so many people that I've talked to overseas and they're just like, bro, we busting the game. It's like, don't get used to that. Don't get used to that private flight. Like, you're going to bust over here. Like, you're going to get back to reality eventually. So I think that's kind of, obviously it's good to live that lifestyle, but as long as you don't get caught up in the crazy kind of like hype around it, then I think it's probably good for you.
Walk me through like a luxury Clemson kind of trip.
Ooh, a luxury trip. So me, I'm a big foodie. So like, I love food and they make sure that we sit with food. So we'll practice, obviously get ready to go to the flight. We'll have Chick-fil-A waiting on us on the bus, which I feel like is pretty typical for most teams. So we'll get on the flight, land. By the time we land, we either go shoot around. After shoot around, we'll have dinner, whatever that may be. It's typically steak, grilled chicken, salmon, all that type of stuff. And that's around like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Great eats. And that's like, if you want to be healthy and get mashed potatoes, broccoli, all that type of stuff, asparagus, like you can do all that. But that's not for me, though. That's not what I was going for. At 9:30, 10 o'clock, every time we get our little itinerary on the whenever we're leaving the day before the game, they'll have late night snack. And this is when it gets crazy. Because at Charleston and Boston College, we didn't have this late night snack. So I was like, what could this be? What could this be? So then 9:30, 10:30, I remember the first away game, I was just like, they text us in the group chat, like, the late night snack is ready. Bro, we go down there and it's like 150 wings, barbecue, plain, and then buffalo. And boy, we kill them things. And I love it. I love every away game. So night before the games, we was eating good, living good, nice hotels, always staying in a nice hotel.
Like, how is it compared to something like you said you played at Charleston? Like, is it completely different?
Oh, it's a night and day difference because you got to think about it. Charleston, we at the mid-major level. So we'll play for mid-major. We gone for most of the week. That was the only good thing about mid-major basketball is that, like, from Wednesday to Sunday, we on the road. So, like, we was missing hella school. Boy, but messing around with Boston College and Clemson in that ACC life, you back the next day. Like, you're back the night of, actually. So, like, the game ended at 9 o'clock. You're back in Clemson by midnight. So, but at Charleston, though, we played at 12 o'clock on Sunday. Man, we waiting in the airport until 9 o'clock that night for the flight. Like, that's how bad it was. Like, we just in the airport just wasting time. But at least, like, and that was probably the negative about mid-major basketball and about that's just the reality of college basketball. Like, the lower levels just don't have the money to do that the way the high majors do. So that's just how it is. But like, it's crazy going from living that lifestyle to going to the ACC. It just I liked it because I was able to be like appreciative for it because, obviously I know what it's like to take a bus 6 hours to Towson and play on a Saturday, but then I also know what it's like to fly 45 minutes to Chapel Hill, get off, eat a nice little dinner, and then fly back the same day. So I know what it's like to have both.
Like, are you allowed to be picky and just be like, yo, like I want like a ribeye steak or like I want like a nice top sirloin? Is that how it is?
Nah, that's definitely not how it is. But like they give us enough bread to like where we can Uber eat something if we don't like it. So I mean,
what's the per diem looking like? My per diem was like $100 per trip. I played at a D2 level. I want to know what the Clemson per diem's like.
They gave us so much bread with NIL, bro. Like per diem wasn't even really like a thing. I mean, but we did get per diem after games. We got like $15 though. It was the lowest amount. But
they take care of you on every other thing. Like,
yeah, obviously they take care of us. Like, the last thing I was worried about was the little $15 after the game. Like, I was
Talk to me about your journey, like you've had hooping. That's probably going to be the last because it's the most interesting. It's the most real. Like you've gotten, like besides the fucking ball sack exploding, like you've actually had legitimate injuries, and somehow with the injuries, you went up. Like you went upscale rather than down, which is like you went from the lowest level, got injured, which means you should have fucking failed, and you elevated all the way to the ACC.
It's actually not because I think about that all the time because I'm like, bro, I got lucky. Like, I'll be the first one to say that. I mean, obviously, I worked my ass off for it and like put in the time for it, but I got lucky. But I think that's probably the best thing about my whole collegiate career is just like what I've been through. Like, I can literally say that I've been in every single spot. Like, I was a damn near a walk on my first year, a red shirt didn't play, did manager duties. Like, I was doing all that type of stuff. Next year, I was a bench warmer, didn't play, was cheering for my teammates nonstop, being like a good supporter. So, like, then the next year, one of my best friends gets hurt, so I start. So obviously I get to like just get right into it. My third year was my redshirt sophomore year pretty much. But so my third year in school, I finally get to play. So I'm waiting 2 full years before I even touch the court. So obviously that happens. And then I'm still playing a limited role in those two teams for the next 2 years. So I'm like, bet I'm just making it do whatever I can. Like I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna be a defender, I'm gonna be a lockdown guy, be a good teammate, shoot the ball whenever I need to, this and that. Because we had at Charleston, we had pros. Like we had 3 pros to get drafted. And played like in the NBA, like actual, like for real minutes in the NBA. So with that being said, I knew that it wasn't my time and I knew I had to wait, which I was perfectly fine with because I understood the journey. Like I understand like it's a process. I understand like it's not going to happen overnight. So then my senior year hits and I'm like, whoo, it's my time finally. Like it's go time. Like, and then that's when COVID happens though. So I'm thinking it's my time. I'm feeling good about the season, doing all this and that. Keep in mind the summer COVID hit, so we don't have access to the gym at all. But I was lazy. I was entitled. I was cocky because I felt like I waited like 4 or 5 years. I said, this is my year now. I can do what I want to. Man, when I tell you that I was playing at like 240. I didn't make none of the conditioning tests. I didn't do any of that. Like I was playing I only played 4 games at my senior year at Charleston. But like I was hooping, like playing at 240. Like I had 15 on the road at Chapel Hill, 27. I had my career high against Marshall. And then the next game before I tore my ACL, I had 13 points in 5 minutes. So I'm like, boy, I'm playing good. Boy, I remember this crazy thing is, so my coach, right, like a couple plays before I tore my ACL, Coach Grant came over and was like, boy, you gonna break the record tonight, like the school record, because I had 13 points quick. Next thing you know, bro, I split a double team, leg snap. I'm like, damn, shit gone. As soon as it snapped,
But that's senior year to everyone watching, right?
Yeah, senior year in Charleston. The year like I was already preseason, like second team, but I knew I was gonna get player of the year if I was hooping. Like if I was healthy and we was gonna win it all, and I was gonna get player of the year. Like I already knew that. So, but I had that mindset going into it, so I didn't work for it.
Yeah.
And as soon as my leg snapped, I was just like, yep, that's exactly what happens, bro. Like you did not deserve none of the stuff that you was about to get. So held me back 2 more years. So I was like, bet, like it is what it is. I didn't earn it. I didn't work for it. And I knew that the next day, because obviously I was emotional at first. I was upset. I was crying. But then the next day I woke up and I was just like, bro, I mean, I didn't work for none of that.
Yeah.
Like everything that I was about to get, I didn't work for it at
all. You were still on scholarship for those 2 other years though.
No, yeah, no. After that, I transferred.
Oh, okay, you transferred.
So yeah, so I'm about to dive into that. So then, obviously, tear my ACL. Maybe this is the beginning of March. My coach obviously has a meeting with us, tells us that he's leaving to go to Boston College. So then I'm like, dang, do I really? And this is 2 months after I have surgery. So I'm like, do I really get in the portal and go somewhere else, or do I go with my head coach to Boston College? And I chose to go with him because I needed to be with somebody I could trust coming off the ACL injury. And like you said, like it was crazy because he went to the ACC, so I got bumped up just off rip. So I was happy about that. But then throughout my move from Charleston to Boston, I had 8 weeks with no rehab, so that set me back crazy. And that was just a bad timing for me in just terms of mentally. I was just going through it bad. So then we get to Boston College. Everything kind of picks up a little bit. First game, I think everything's going smooth. Then I tear my meniscus again. So I'm like, damn, yeah. First game back. So I tear my meniscus. It wasn't as bad, so I had to have surgery. I missed 8 games, then I had surgery. So then I missed a little bit of December. But yeah, and then ended up finishing what I could do at Boston College. And then a crazy thing happened after Boston College. So it's like 3 weeks after the ACC tournament. I'm thinking my college career is over with, and I deleted Twitter throughout the year just because like I was not dealing with the negative stuff that I was seeing about me on the internet. So I was just like, yeah, I got to delete this and get off of it. So then I get a tweet sent to me one night, late as hell, like 3 a.m. I wake up to it, and it's just like, pretty much said that my former point guard at Boston College is going to return for another year of school, but Brevin Galloway won't return. So I was like, damn, hold on. What did he say I won't return? Like, I have another year left? I didn't even know this. So then the next day I go to compliance, and I'm just like, I'm literally bringing up my years. I'm like, 2016, I redshirted. I got hurt. I got hurt this year. I got hurt this year. And then they're just like, you got another year left. And I'm like, oh shit, I got another year left. So then I have to get all my medical documentation from Charleston and Boston College from when I tore my hamstring and my ACL. And then obviously the COVID year came into effect. So I was able to get 7 years of school, transfer back home, finish out my career the right way, healthy. And then, obviously we made history this year at Clemson. We didn't make the tournament, which was some bullshit, but we still made history and had did some good things.
That's crazy. That's the most wild journey. The man went up. And you think your one of your best performances overall during that span was at Clemson?
Oh yeah, my best performance was definitely this past year. We played NC State on the road. It was in February, I think. Played NC State on the road, like critical game. Like we lose that game, we definitely don't make the tournament. We didn't make it anyways, but we definitely don't have a chance at least. And then I had my career high, 28 points on the road. Shut them up. It was their senior day too.
That's crazy.
Shut them up. That was a great feeling, especially on their senior day. Like doing that on somebody's senior day, beating them by 25 plus, and you have your career high.
That one feels good.
Bro, you can't ask for a better day than that.
That's him right there. Anyone watching, like that's what it's all about. Like if you're a quitter, you're gonna quit. You know what I mean? And like you clearly went through the lowest, and that's why you're such an advocate for something like mental health. But I think it goes even further than that. Like you're just a guy. Like you're just like that from going from absolute zero and just elevating. Like literally through his worst, you elevated. Besides all the luck that you say, I don't really call it luck. I wouldn't even call it luck. I would just say that's just legit. Give me it. Like shoot me controversy about the transfer portal right now. Everything. Everyone has an opinion on it. I want to hear what you got to say.
Man, I love the transfer portal because it just gives opportunities for the player to have power. Like you got to think about it. An athlete never has had power in the past, and now the world is scared because the athletes can jump in the portal and make their own decision. Now we can see who's going to pay us the most money. Now we can see who really wants us bad enough. So I think it's beautiful for us, and everybody in the world mad about it just because they have no control. Now the players have all the control. So now I can jump in the portal. I ain't got to listen to nobody. I can be like, all right, bet, who's going to offer me the most money? Texas? Nah. Alabama? Nah. Clemson? Nah. Like, I get to make my own decision. I ain't got to worry about nobody vouching for me. Nah. Every single decision has to be made for the players now. And I think that's probably the best part about it because the coaches are scared because they're just like, I got to make sure I keep my best player. What I got to do to keep my best player? Nah, you got to pay that man.
How do similar players to you feel about it? They're in the same boat.
Mm-hmm. In terms of like what you mean by
like how they feel about the transfer portal?
Oh, I guess, the people that I talk to, obviously, you hear the guys, like the guys that I DM on Instagram, the guys that I talk to through social media, they love it because obviously they're the ones benefiting from it. Like the world is in their hands. Yeah. Like I said, like they're the ones that's getting offers here every day. Like, bro, you got to think about it. Some of these guys are getting like $1 million offers to come to their school. Like, you think they're not happy about that? Like, they love this shit. Like, they love the transfer portal because they're able to benefit from it. And like I said, I'm all for it because as players, that's what it's about. Like, we make the game what it is. Like, if you don't pay us, then obviously you're not going to get our best. And I feel like that's what people needed to learn back in the day. And now, it is what it is. People are gonna be mad about it. It is.
I don't even think they can though. Like they can't. Like they're not on the court. You know what I mean? They have
the only thing I will say about it is I'm not gonna say unfair because life is just unfair in general. But like it does kind of negate opportunities for other players because obviously the attention is only going to be on the big names. So other guys probably aren't going to get compensated what they should get. But that's life in general. Like as much as I want to say that's unfair for like a mid-major guy's not going to get paid more. Like a guy from a low major school and a mid-major school are obviously in the portal. Like the guy from the mid-major school has got better stats is probably going to get better situations, better opportunities than the guy coming from the low major that don't have nothing. Or like even high school guys. Like I feel bad for the high school guys because I'm a 7th year guy. Like think about how many opportunities I took from somebody. Yeah. But at the same time, nobody would care if it was me though. So like that's the way I got to think about it too. Like it's at the end of the day, I know I probably messed up somebody's chances to go to Boston College or go to Clemson. But at the same time, if I was that high school kid, they would be saying, "Screw you, Brevin. Like we don't care about you." So I'm
100%.
Like, that's how it is.
Take what's yours. You know what I mean?
That's how it is.
Yeah, that's tough. You're going into your pro journey now. What are the options looking like for you?
That's actually a great question. Obviously, I'm hoping I'll have some NBA workouts with some teams after the combine and stuff. But I mean, honestly, I really don't care, man. I mean, I really just want to hoop and have fun again.
Do you see yourself in the league?
I just want to be where I can get paid, bro. Like, I'm 25 years old. Obviously, I want to maximize my years playing this game. I don't want to find myself fighting in the G League if I got better opportunities overseas where I can get paid a bag. Like I said, like I want to play till I'm 30, 31. So I got 5 years left. I don't want to spend 2 years trying to prove myself when I can just go overseas and get paid. Like that's what it comes down to for me. And I want to have fun with it. Like over the past 2-3 years, I've been injury plagued and dealing with so much stuff like on the court that I haven't really able to just have fun and enjoy it again. So
where's your ideal location overseas?
I don't know, man. I mean, like my agent is telling me like Germany, Spain, France, like those are, I'm perfectly happy with those. Yeah. Like I'll be more than happy to go over there and hoop. And like that's big for me and my wife. Like we're gonna love to go travel the country and see everything. Like, and it's paid for. Like you gotta think about it. Like we'll be everywhere. Ain't none of it gonna be on our dime. Like so, like we just gonna be able to live life, do what we want to do, and just be together. So I feel like that's definitely what I'm looking forward to the most. But I'm not really set on the destination or location about where I'm playing, man. I just want to just enjoy and have fun while I can.
Yeah, man, that's exciting. I'm happy for your journey, especially when it's a journey like this. A lot of people have, shit given to them. You've obviously worked for it. You've been through the downs. Now you're at the highs. Is there anything else you want to share with us, bro? I appreciate your time overall. I know you have some stuff that you advocate for, so I'd be curious about that. But other than that, I appreciate your time. Is there anything you want to share to everybody? Yeah.
You think we covered everything?
We took a look at the craziest things in this guy's playbook. We've took a look at some of the most inspiring things. We've taken a look at some of the most successful things. Your playbook's pretty serious. It's going to take, so anyone watching this, take some notes. If your nuts explode, you're still on your way to become a millionaire. Capitalize off that shit. Anything bad happens to you, capitalize off that shit. This is a prime example right here, my guy, Brevin Galloway.
Prime example, man. You can always turn a negative situation into a positive, man. You got to just think a little outside the box, man. You can do it.
Yeah, I appreciate your time, brother. It was good talking to you.
Yes, sir, my guy. Appreciate you.
Y'all look nervous, breathing all happy. Look, we gon' keep it going till it's raining confetti. I'm in the camera smiling, cheese, don't it look like some fatty? I got it. We ready.